So in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to edit and improve the audio for a clip that you have recorded. I have a clip I recorded called the Gettysburg Address. So if you've downloaded that from the assignment and placed it on your desktop, then just add that to a new project and drag it down to the timeline. The next thing we're going to do, and I just want to show you, if you play that clip,
7 years ago,
there's a lot of background noise. So there's not a real clean way to remove the background noise in OpenShot. So we're going to use two other applications, VLC and Audacity, to remove the background noise. So I'd like for you to go to the VLC media player and open that application. And from that, you're going to select Media, Convert, and Save. And you're going to add the Gettysburg Address MP4 file to the file selection. And then you're going to use then you're going to click Convert and Save. And when you click Convert and Save, be sure to drop down the profiles and select in the audio profile, select MP3. And then your destination, you can put it in the same place that you're converting. And I just am going to call this Gettysburg Address audio only. And I'm going to start that conversion, and it's going to very quickly convert the Gettysburg Address file and create an audio only version of that for me. After you do that, you can exit out of the VLC media player. After exiting the VLC media player, you're going to open Audacity. Audacity is an audio editing software. We're not going to go into a great detail, but we're going to get started using Audacity. So you'll open the Gettysburg Address audio only file that you created in the VLC media player, and you're going to zoom in on the audio. So you want to get where you can actually see this intro section where the noise is. And I'm going to highlight this section. So my cursor is here on the track, and I'm going to click and drag over where I've just got this noise. And I'm going to click Effect, and I'm going to click Noise Reduction, and I'm going to click Get Noise Profile. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click back on the track. I'm going to press my Control key and hit A so that I select the entire track. And I'm going to click Effect. I'm going to click Noise Reduction again, and this time I'm going to use the noise reduction at the bottom. I'm going to keep my noise reduction around 18 as a test point, and because you don't want it to be too high, you don't want it to take out more audio than you need, and you don't want it to be too low because you want it to get all the noise. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to click OK, and it's going to apply that noise reduction. And I'm going to play that and see if most of that airy sound
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this kind.
And that sounds a lot better. So after I do that, I'm going to create a new clean MP3 file of this. I'm going to export as an MP3. And this one I'm going to call it Gettysburg Address audio only clean. And I'm going to save this in the same location in my OpenShot project files here. I'm going to save it. I'm going to click OK, and it's going to create an MP3 for me. So now we're back in OpenShot, and I'm going to add the Gettysburg Address audio only clean file that we created to the project, and I'm going to drag it down here to the timeline. Now if I played that now, you would hear
7 years ago,
some really strange audio because we have not muted the audio in the video track. So I'm going to click on the first track. Well, it's track 5 here, and which is the MP4 file. And I'm going to click on Volume, Entire Clip, and I'm going to set it to level 0. And then I'm going to go back to the beginning of this clip, and I'm going to play.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent.
Now we have a much cleaner audio for this track, and because I didn't change the size of the MP3 file, I didn't cut off anything from either end when we started, I'm still going to have a very aligned audio and video track. A couple of other things I want to show you how to do with audio is I can turn down the audio on my audio track. So I could come over here to volume and do entire clip, and I could set it to maybe half the volume. When I do that, it's going to turn the volume down for the whole clip. So now if I played that, the volume will be a lot lower.
Our fathers brought.
The other thing I can do is I can right click and I can click on display and I can show waveform. That will show me the wave for my audio file. Also, if I go back to the beginning of this clip, which I can do by using these orange buttons here, I've got the clip selected and I can go to the previous key point. That will put it at the very beginning of this audio clip. And then I can right click and properties. If this properties panel is closed, if I right click and click properties, it's going to open my properties panel back up. And if I scroll to the bottom here, I've got a volume. Now I'd set the volume down at 0.5. The right click over here on volume will not let you go above 100%. But if you use the right click and go to properties, you can actually come down here to the volume and set the volume to more than 100%. So I can make the volume higher. When I do that, it will automatically
Four score
play
and
it
7
at a much
years
higher
ago,
volume.
our fathers brought forth.
If I don't do that at the beginning, or if I have one particular section where maybe what I'm saying right here is too loud,
it is altogether
that I can actually set the clip at that point and go to the properties, go down to the volume, and turn the volume down at that point. When I do that, you'll see that there is an indicator here at on the right side of this volume bar. This indicator right now, if I right click on that, it has that diagonal line through it. So it means that the volume is going to go from this green key point to this green key point. It's going to make that change across the whole thing. I don't want that to happen. I want it to actually go to that new volume at that point. So if I right click on this and tell it constant, you'll see that the line will change. And at this green key point, that is where the volume changes.
Bigger gave their lives
so it's
that
louder.
That nation might live. It is
And
altogether
then the volume
fitting
is a
and
little
proper
bit less.
that we should do this.
This will also take me it takes you not to the beginning of the clip, but to the previous key point. So that key point is where I've made that change. I can also click here and I can reset volume, and that will take out what is happening at that key point. And actually it'll take it out for the entire clip. So if I come back over here, my volume is set at 1. Again, I'm going to adjust that up to 1.5. I'm going to press enter and it's at 1.5. You'll see as I move across, it stays at 1.5 across the whole clip. So those are some options for editing volume as well as removing noise using Audacity. So when you guys do this in your project, I would expect to have an exported version of the Gettysburg Address where I don't hear that white noise at the beginning. It should play very cleanly.
7 years ago, our fathers brought.
So when you get done, just simply go up to the export button, export, and save it to a place where you can find it. I've got all my files in an OpenShot project folder, and I'm going to call this one Gettysburg Audio Project. I'm going to put my name on it, and I'm going to export this video. Now you'll use this particular video again for another project, so save it someplace where you can find it and use it again. After it finishes exporting, upload the MP4 file that gets created to your assignment in Google Classroom.